Alright, so hi and welcome to my next video. This time I will be talking about the remaining issues that are already tagged as AAA here, which stands for Authentication, Authorization, and Accounting. And I've just renamed this first issue here slightly so that it gets a little bit more descriptive to what we want to do now. So the role Master Data Manager, which is some kind of person that we have in our system as a user, should only have access to a subset of features. When I log into the system, then I should only see relevant menus and data that is or are necessary for my role. So in order to make that happen, when we go back into this main view here and take a look at our data model, then we can actually enhance that a little bit. So first of all, we will create a product category. This will be assigned to this product. And from there, we can actually create a proper role that is only responsible for managing this kind of data. Okay, so first of all, we will create another entity here, which is called product category. And it gets a name, which is mandatory. And it also gets a code, which is, we can do it like this for now. Okay, we can save that since there is nothing going on anymore. The instance name will be the name. This is totally fine. And what we additionally do here is that we assign a product category or assign a product to a product category. So let's just create an attribute called category. The attribute type is association, and it's a many-to-one relationship, and it will be towards this product category here. And as I said, many-to-one. I think we can do it without mandatory for now. So this is an interesting topic here actually, because when we would just make it mandatory, we would have some constraints on our database because we already have products in that have no product category assigned to it. And when we don't allow null values in the data table or in the specific column, then we might get to some problems that the database actually cannot be completely updated. Studio has some, when it generates the SQL files, it has some already pre-configured SQL snippets that you can use in order to set default values or something like that. But for now, I think what we can do here is that I will, in the first place, create it without a mandatory flag, then just go into the running application, change the data, just assign some proper form of product category, and after that we might at some point make that a mandatory one. Okay, so the lookup type is dropdown, and I want to have this both options here. Okay, yeah, we can add the category to the field group and to the group table. This is fine. But since we have no view already created, Studio was not able to just include this new reference to this view, and therefore it warns us and says, oh, I couldn't update that because for this local view, which is currently only available, I can't just put references in there. So we have to do that first. So we will create a product view which contains the category, and now when we go into the products user interface here, so the category is correctly filled in here, but products data source has the wrong view in order to store it actually. So in order to make that work, we should do the following: change the data source view here, and I will show it in the browser via the other way. Here we have this product browse, and here we see this group data source and we will change the view to this product view. And as we see here, the category is already created. So Studio was just warning us that it could not actually load the data. Okay, so when we run our application now, yeah, we can just update the database. Okay, now the application is loaded, and we can actually take a look at the products here. So we have a category, but we can't actually select one because we don't have the corresponding screens. So let's just do that. So there we go. But in order to have proper data connections here, we should actually create some kind of categories. And if we take a look at what categories we actually have, then we might come up with something like, I don't know, something Simpsons related. Okay, so we could do something like this, which is the Ned Flanders store. And then we'll create another one, which is, I don't know, beer, and one which is something like that, food. And then we might have additionally something like that. And what we can do now is we go through the data and assign it a corresponding category. All right. So the next thing that we actually want to do when we go back to our issue here is that we want to create a role data or master data manager, and this role should only have access to certain stuff. So we can actually go to our running application and create a role. This role we call master data manager, and let's see what this role should actually have. So we first of all we can define a type for this role. There are different types, you know, you can do like denying role where you actually explicitly have to enable everything that is allowed, or there's like read-only roles and stuff like that. So you might check out the documentation on this one. I will just leave it here as a standard one and do some permissions that are allowed and that are not allowed. So normally the master data manager should not be allowed to see the reports at all, because it's just not necessary for him at this moment in time. And then we have this information regarding the product categories and the products. We can allow that, allow the products, and completely deny the whole data that is customer related. Additionally, we can just deny the administration part, and yeah, the help screens are totally okay for now. Then there are a lot of other screens that I will not go through now, but you might take a closer look if you're interested into that. Besides that, you can also define permissions on the entities. So in this case, we would like to say, let's search for product, and we allow everything there. And then we take a look at the customer and remove everything. And this is somewhat like a duplication of what I did here with the screens. So with the screens, it's actually only regarding the main menu here and in order to get to the browse screen. But so for example, via the REST API, this role is still allowed to send new customers in or stuff like that. So we actually have to do that on the entity level as well. So we'll remove this one and the line item here. Okay, so then we could theoretically also do this on a attribute level. So this means that if I go to product, then I can not only globally say if it's allowed or denied to create or update an entity of this kind, but I can do that more fine-grained on a attribute level. So I can say the name should not be allowed to modify, but I can read it, or the code should completely hidden or stuff like that. We will not do that for this master data manager role because in this case it's totally okay as it is for now. Then there are specific permissions that are also not really relevant for this one. So for example, the ability to log into this web client or to create global filters and stuff like that. One thing that we could do is to deny the REST API completely. And with that, I think we are actually quite good. And after we've done that, we have to create a user. So if you might have already seen that, I basically copied over this example here from a blog post I did quite some time ago, where it is about this permissions thing in general and the specific requirements that we have here as well. So in this case, it is this Jesse guy who should only be able to see products and categories. And therefore, we will just use this username with the corresponding password. And over here with the roles, we can actually define which role a user might have. So it is possible to have multiple roles for a given user. And yeah, with that, I think we have configured everything that we need. So let's just save that. And now we can actually log in as this user that has this role. And what we see now here is that the reports menu is gone, the administration menu is gone, and when we take a look at the application, we only see products and product categories because we have removed the permission to see customer-related data and order data as well. So therefore, it should just be possible to go into these things here, change some stuff, and so the complete permissions on this product are there, and it is not allowed to see anything else. So what, for example, I could search for Krababel, and I should not be able to see anything. Let's double check here with the admin. There you see the customer. And therefore it's really relevant to really configure this on a entity basis and not only on the screen basis. Okay, with that I think we have covered most of the stuff here because it is only possible to see certain subsets of the features of the application. And we will take a look at other authorization related topics in future episodes. Okay. So with that, I think we have covered the related topics in here. And we've created a role, and it only has a subset of features available to it. So this way you can basically have different roles and assign that to different users, and they have different permissions in your system. So with that, I think we can close it off. Have a nice day and bye. See you next time.